The power of self-confidence. Every person has confidence in himself in a certain way. There is a person who has confidence in himself and he talks to people or with his wife or with his children. So each of us has confidence in something. And the person who says that he does not have complete confidence, his words are incorrect. What happened is that he focused on something that he lacked confidence in, and then began to circulate the matter to say, I do not have confidence in myself. If a person loses confidence in himself, he will live in intense fear and feel that all people are better and more important than him, and will live in the shadows of others, and will suffer from frustration and psychological aches. That is, self-esteem, which comes before self-confidence, will be disruptive. As for the person who enjoys a certain amount of confidence, we find that he does not suffer from fear, and the look of his eyes has confidence, and you feel through his eyes that he is telling you, I am confident in myself that you will never be able to affect me. He is not affected by external influences or by others, because he knows very well where he is going, and knows that this confidence can overcome his challenges, for with confidence he can overcome the impossible. You are the one who makes the impossibility exist and makes it surround you. If you decide, think, plan and do, there will be no impossible. Confidence defies trauma. At first we will ask, where does self-confidence come from? And where will the owner of self-confidence reach? A self-confident person moves in a certain way, thinks in a certain way, and breathes in a certain way. Whatever happens, he will win in the end. A person who thinks in a sound way definitely knows where he is going, so he knows what his goals are and what these goals will lead him to, and he will say to himself, no matter what I fall, I will stand again, and when he reaches what he wants, he will see from there what is further. The power of self-confidence has a huge meaning. As soon as you say the word self-confidence, talk about self-concept. Then the self-image that will lead us to self-esteem. For example, speaking in front of an audience is considered one of human fears, such as fear of failure, the unknown, objection, speaking in mockery, and you can overcome it by going back to the past, then changing the perception of reality in the past, then living the new experience, then giving it strength, and then doing the process of creative imagination. Imagine yourself in the future in a difficult situation, and you are completely unstable. Repeat this more than once. You will find that the body and mind are starting to follow the new programming. So when you are in a situation that you are afraid of, do not say I can't, say I don't want, because if you really wanted to do something, you would do it, and you can. Just trust yourself. I once asked someone, what do you do if you have a big problem? He said to me, there is a Chinese person who asked him the same question and he said, it does not matter what happens to me unless he kills me, it will make me stronger. Confidence 1. Self-concept. Self-concept is a word that includes your perception, values, habits, and the meaning of things for you, of which 90% are eyes before the age of 7. Collect a language to go to the world and meet them in this language. And when he discovers that people speak a language completely different from him, I do not mean the difference here in the type of language, Arabic, English or other, but rather the difference in customs and values. Hence the friction in the art of communication, because each person defends his values, and defends his opinion. Every human has things that have a different meaning than others. It may be in my understanding that understanding is important and nervousness is rejected, and in the concept of the other, nervousness and quarrels are normal. 1. Characteristics of the self-concept. The self-concept has 3 main characteristics. It is acquired, because it comes from programming. We gain it from the father and mother, then from school, then from friends, then from the media, then from ourselves, then from our social and family environment. So there is programming that happened to you. Therefore, since the self-concept is acquired, then we can change it because it is programming. That he is regular, he wants to stay in the same place and does not want to move to another place, so he is defending himself, so he is orderly in defending himself. As soon as you obtain the self-concept and obtain language, meaning and awareness, you enter into a region called the comfort zone or the safety zone, meaning that everything must be in this zone, and if you leave it or make any change in your life, you will resist severely because this differs about your comfort zone. In this area, the person feels safe, because he has the income that makes him live well, and he has the house that shelters him, and the work he was seeking for, and achieving what he aspired to. And this safety zone I call the danger zone because if a person is highly reassured, he will not take advantage of his abilities, because he does not know why he is using them. He is happy. Why is he tiring himself then? Thus, routine will enter his life and frustrations and psychological aches will begin, and we find many people who have all the means to make them happy in their lives, but they are in fact miserable and mentally ill, saying to themselves, "Why would I change? I am so happy," but internally he feels upset, because everyone around him in movement and change, but it stopped at a certain point. If someone changes his home, for example, he will feel insecure and insecure in the first period, as well as changing work to a new job, although the new work may be better than the first job, but at first the person will feel insecure and insecure, because he found himself out of the comfort zone. And when you ask a person to make a decision, by your request, you removed him from his comfort zone, and when he comes out of it, he must come out in his own way and in his own way, not in your own style or in your own way, because no one can change anyone. So you have to gather information and broaden horizons to give new meaning to things and make people think, decide and act, and when you do that you will find people learning that. One of the most prominent problems between parents and children is that they want them to do a certain thing. In fact, as long as a person loves and desires to do a certain thing, he will succeed in doing this thing, because every person has his own self-concept that he owns, and this concept is very powerful and this concept contains the programming of this person. But if a person does something and he is forced to do it, then this thing is outside his beliefs and outside his goals. Then I must change on the basis of my own concept, not on the basis of someone else's. It is dynamic, it means that it is constantly striving to improve and reach the best, but provided that this improvement is in his personal sense and not in the concept of anyone else. This is because a person grows up with his achievements, and this is his basic requirement. Achievements make the person feel that he is progressing and that he is enlarging and developing himself. The achievements make him feel that he has a goal in this life. The meaning is dynamic, meaning that he is constantly moving, but provided that this movement is in his self-concept. But if it is according to the concept of another person, you will not succeed in continuing. Therefore, a person must be in constant movement and development, and help himself to make decisions, and not say there is no time left. I have grown up to make a change in my life. How can we bring about a change in the self-concept? We have said that the self-concept is acquired, and the question now is, can the acquired thing change? The answer is, of course, yes, because it was originally created by a specific person, such as the father and the mother, for example, and it can be changed and I can change it in a way that suits me. First, you must know that the opinion of others about you did not, and will not indicate you, because this opinion is based on the values, system, and thinking of these others, not your own. You, and not your thinking, and not your concept. You and I and everyone are a miracle from God, so how can a person judge another person? Therefore, you must accept your abilities as they are and accept yourself as they are, and from here another stage begins, which is not to criticize anyone. Once you criticize another person, this means that you say to yourself, I do not need my abilities. I am only criticizing you. I do not need to. I only blame. I don't need to make myself big. I don't need to do anything at all, I only blame. And in this case I tell my subconscious I don't need you. I blame and I will become the world champion in blame.